Hello and welcome to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Updates, Thursday, September 3rd, 2020. I'm Crypto Jack and I'm hosting today's show. Alongside me today, of course, I have analysts Jason and Alex. Let me actually unmute these guys. Alright, so as I said, I have analysts Alex and Jason with me today. How you guys doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Alright,
It
not
looks
everybody
like
at once.
we may have rejected.
Sure looks like it. So, alright, so today's show, we are definitely going to be reviewing the markets from Bitcoin to the majors and even low-cap altcoins. Probably a little bit of something for everybody. Definitely going to lead with the main mover of the day, and that's, of course, well, it's market-wide, but Bitcoin is,
How you doing?
getting hammered
doing well.
on today.
It
But not
looks
everybody
like
at
we
once.
may have rejected.
Oh, hold on, I got
Sure
some kind
looks
of
like.
audio coming in through somewhere. Where?
It might be me. Hold on.
Might have been you. Okay, all good, all good. All right, back to what I was saying is, a big question on everybody's mind is there a CME gap we got to fill coming up somewhere down low, or I guess we're going to take a look at the chart, see where the gap is, see what we'll fill. Are we going to just this seems like a bit of a support level here. Are we going to go lower? We're going to find out. We're going to have the analysts dive into that. All right, let's see here. Alex, you screen sharing yet? Maybe I'll start with Jason in that case. Let's take a look. Jason, my man, let me put you up on the main scene here. Perfect. All right, Jason, I don't hear you right now. Is there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I hear you good. Okay. All right, bro. You're on the.
Yep.
You're
All
on
right.
the
Well, I
stream.
mean, in comparison where we were yesterday we were still holding support up here around the 11.1 range. Like I said yesterday, I was in this trade from about 11.250 with my stop loss at 11,100. That's right below these lows, of course, because I was playing on this pattern playing out. Of course, right now you can see that we did reject down. We've hit a low of 10.46.1 on Bybit. To me, I can't really tell what's going to happen here. But as I said yesterday, I do think a rejection below that 11.1 range is going to probably have us see further downside, possibly fill that gap down here at that 9,700 range, probably the top of this shelf, 9,800. But as of now, we're just kind of slowly bleeding off here. The one thing I would find interesting here is Parallax going into oversold, even though there's not really any kind of correlation to that specifically. But I do like that in comparison with the backwardation that we're finally getting quite a backwardation spike, meaning a lot of the market's trying to short this right now. So in the short term, I don't think that it's silly to think we might get some kind of push to the upside here, possibly back up to the 11,000 range before rejecting again, but that is to be seen at the moment. Lower time frames would suggest we do have a little bit of upside before candle close, but that can absolutely go the other direction. In terms of what we're looking at with Bitcoin, Ethereum, USD. Where is Bybit? Change the layout on me. I do think Ethereum is interesting here in the sense that it has not formed a sorry, a lower low here. We are still above I mean, in terms of what you think of Ethereum, what do you think here, Alex? I think this looks a lot stronger than Bitcoin right now, but
I mean,
that could
it's
that
stronger than Bitcoin just by virtue of not having broken support here.
yeah.
As far as percentage losses today, it's had a worse day, but it had a better weekend, so kind of
hmm
come out in the wash.
So I mean, right now, I I am kind of flat in terms of open leverage trades on Bitcoin, Ethereum, any of that. Um, kind of just s- sitting on your hands moments for me, to be honest with you, because we don't know. We could see a lot further downside here. I don't see enough that would make me want to get into a leverage position in any direction. Possibly with the break of the trend on Bitcoin, one could look at possibly hedging a little bit, but that literally is up to each person's strategy. Um, So yeah, at this moment, nothing really to do with Bitcoin. It does look like we're going to begin a bearish trend here. Um, that's Bitcoin for you guys. I mean, yesterday it was looking like we might hold there, but of course, other people were bearish at that moment. I was looking for a different setup. Was able to play the last few progressions very well to where it did not end up negative on this last little jolt to the downside after the short from 11.7. But as for now, I think we need some time just to see on what's going to form, what support levels are going to form, what in what direction we're going to hit from here. But as of now, I mean, we're below mostly every baseline on almost every time frame. So that would lead me to believe that we are breaking this trend and going bearish now.
Not looking pretty for sure. But I
No, it is
mean,
not.
what would be a Bitcoin bull market without a 25% correction?
Without shaking out 95% of the market.
Yeah. Alex, do you want me to throw you up on the screen?
Sure.
All right, we'll get Alex to quickly go through his. Maybe you can walk us through your thoughts on BTC, if they differ much from what Jason just described.
Well, I mean, they do and don't differ. I mean, I have different thoughts because I'm a different person, but I agree that it's a big drop on Bitcoin, but at the same time, things look really bullish in the higher time frames. And, I'm not eager to go short at these levels. I don't want to short Bitcoin at 10,600. We're far more likely to get a bounce from
hmm
I don't know, maybe we fill the CME gap, maybe we don't, maybe we bounce from 10K, maybe we don't. I'm bullish as long as we're above like 1,000, essentially. I mean, if
hmm
we like came down super hard momentum and just pegged 10K and like put in a big wick all the way through 9,000, I mean, it would suck for like basically all of us. But at the same time, it would
Those in leverage
still be
positions,
kind of bullish behavior, right?
y-
That big wick into
sweeping liquidity to buy it
yeah,
back up.
that long term consolidation area, retesting it. Price loves to retest consolidation area. And I'm surprised by the dip. Yeah, I really thought we were gonna hold
I
over
thought we were
over
going to have at
11,000.
least one more
Yeah.
leg up before any kind of break of that
hmm
trend, but I mean that just can't be predicted.
Yeah,
And, and
I gotta say, guys, yeah, I thought it was gonna be a big fake out head and shoulders pattern, and that everybody who shorted that spot were gonna be real sorry. But turns out I'm the sorry one.
and
Yeah.
it is important to know, like especially for me when I look at this 12-hour, I'm going to basically sit on my hands until the 12-hour candle close because I mean anything can happen in Bitcoin, and there is a chance that this could get bought back up above that threshold to where the 12-hour actually didn't break the trend; it just wicked down. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
possibility. I mean, look at we're getting the highest amount of backwardation we've gotten in months. That doesn't mean necessarily we're going to go up, but it is an
Well,
indicator
I
that
mean, I
there's
bet
correlated.
everybody who shorted this spot is gonna get hurt.
Oh,
I mean,
I
yeah,
agree. I agree
absolutely.
completely.
If
Be-
yeah,
This is rocking
I'm
a hard
still
place.
slightly underwater on an Ethereum long, and I'm not dumping it because I'm sure we're gonna bounce back up from here. And, everybody who shorted $400 is gonna get real hurt. Everybody
Yeah,
who shorted 10,600, they're gonna get real hurt.
because
And
what
I mean, presumably we're gonna retest 11,000 from below, and we'll retest 440, which we just
Mhm.
broke, from below again. And then I don't know exactly what price we'll do from there. Maybe we'll keep going. Maybe we'll dump more from there.
Mhm.
Maybe it's just gonna be more sideways. But
Because
I
this
want to
is
take
go ahead, sorry.
a broader market view, like just beyond crypto, because it wasn't just crypto that had a red
Everything's
day.
dumping today. Yep.
It's it's been like one of the first really bad market days for in like it seems like forever since prices have been going up. The big tech giants took a big tumble today. I know lots of people who were in Tesla are hurt, and I think it fell from like 500 to 400 because of course they had their stock split recently. But um, so I think let's go back to the Dixie, the U.S. dollar currency index. So we have been watching this since like it was around 100, and this is also around the time when right around here is when the market really started to take off, and especially in the late June area. So yesterday, we noted that the Dixie looks like there is a reversal in the offing. It has continued today. And so we're getting a sense of the broader market taking risk off, removing money out of assets, and then going back into cash. And that's what we see here. So there was a flight from cash when the Fed was printing money, and everyone's like, oh shit, all the money that I'm holding on to is worth less every single day. So what do? They take it, they put it into gold. They
Mhm.
put it into Tesla, they put it into Apple, they put it into things that are going to appreciate into value, right? Right.
Hot dog.
That's what you do. If like you're holding US dollars, they're decreasing in value. Like this is like a 10% loss in the value of your US dollars since what? Since April? Yeah. A 10% loss in the value of your US dollars. So people were, of course, rushing into these other markets. Now, I don't think that this is the end of the bull market. I think that what we're seeing is like, people have to take profits at some level, folks. Stocks cannot be all up, even in a parabolic curve. There's still a little bit of down, and then
Mhm.
it goes up even harder, and then down a little, and then even harder it goes up. But I think the important thing here is to focus that for now, it seems like the market is more interested in kind of like turning its stocks and its Ethereum and Bitcoin and stuff into cash for right now, and then kind of looking around, and if the Fed decides to print more money, which let's probably going to do, especially before the election, the stock market cannot before this election. The Federal Reserve has explicitly stated they're going to do everything they can to prop this up. And we
Mhm.
all know that President Trump has goosed the Fed on numerous occasions, on both on Twitter and I'm sure over the phone. Like, hey guys, my stocks are down today. What's going on over there? Get back out there. So
You need to turn that money printer back on?
yeah, money. Federal Reserve go burr, guys. So that's where I wanted to bring us back here to the Dixie. So let's go ahead and look at the broader crypto market now. As we're seeing a lot of profit taking. So what's happening here? Of course, we're seeing a flight into Bitcoin as people are stopped out of their alt Bitcoin trades, which dumps them into Bitcoin. And then, of course, people are also dumping their Bitcoin into USDT and USD. But overall, Bitcoin dominance has risen, still under the 60% mark. We're still kind of threatening to dip here. Like this
Mhm.
does not, it's not
Strong at
inspiring
all.
confidence yet. Like, oh
No.
yeah, it's Bitcoin time, guys. It's still. So let's head on over to Bitcoin itself, which has already recovered $100 since we were talking about it 15 minutes ago.
It hurt us.
So it looks like we've put in a local bottom, 1, 2, 3 dumps. Yep, we're probably going to go up and retest this area right up here.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask me, yeah, you could probably build a scalp long around this. What would that look like?
For
Roughly. Here's how I would want to build the scalp long. Probably something like, let's just
yeah, I would
get
go
below
under
this
that
wick right
last
here.
liquidity wick. Yeah,
Yeah. Let's just go.
just to be safe.
And then is it going to be an hourly one? Yeah, I take this as an hourly trade. Just bloop, got a nice little signal right here, and then take it up to here. Maybe even I wouldn't be surprised if we wicked up to test this point of control area.
Yeah, and this
So
is
maybe
one of
here
those.
and then take profit in this area.
I actually have one sitting around 11.5 just in case we wick up to there, because these are the moments, because I guarantee there's a lot of people who
So many people who are short here, guys.
who
And they are
were
going to get
long up
liquidated.
there and then
Yeah.
bought the dip down here and longed again and then came back down, and now they're like, okay, finally gonna short. And then we're going to get, like, these are the times that you see those Jericho wicks that just like, whew, clean out all the longs. But if that happens, I
You mean
believe
all
that
the
would,
shorts?
yes. If that does happen, then I think that would actually add to the bearish case if we just completely wick up.
Yeah, so definitely that would be a very bearish wick. If you see it wicked up into resistance and then it corrected back down, it's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
time for some more downside. But either way, I do like being scalp long this spot right here.
Mm-hmm.
Do not short this level right here. Do not short 10,700. Like the time to short was probably around 12,000. And you know, kudos to you if you did it. Time to short was probably around 11.5. Kudos to you if you did it while, you know, we were still like, well, I know Justin was kind of bearish for a while, and I finally talked him into the bullish case.
Well, I shorted from 11.7 down to 11.2
There
because
you go.
that was the shelf that I really thought would hold, but
Yeah, this would hold. Yeah.
can't get them
Okay,
all
so
right.
let's go ahead and open up the alt markets. So alt perp, let's get a higher time frame here.
Do we get
Alt
that
perp
dip?
looking ugly.
Yep.
It looks like support did not last. We're seeing sellers step in harder here. See, we're not seeing decreasing selling volume. We're seeing increasing selling volume. I would expect us to probably come back down and test this area right here.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, we gotta go more into this area down here.
These ones are always interesting ones because you could just get 3 candles of that size just clearing out everything. But
Yeah.
it's just impossible to know at this point. I mean, that technically has a not really a lower low
Yep.
or lower high there.
It's gonna be hard to break down below this support.
Mm-hmm.
I would expect us to do a lot of downward sideways trading in this area. But yeah, this does not look good. This looks like a nice little triple top pattern here. I would want to take this. No, I do want to take this lower. Yeah, it's just going to break down more. This is a nice little break of the trend here. Yep, alt perp going lower. Mid perp. Yeah, this doesn't look great. You know, we had broken the bearish stride here, and I suppose this could be a retest, but it's
because for the moment it looks like it's trying to hold, but
yeah, it could. And what if we got a bounce off of our trend line here? About shit perp. Ooh, yeah. You know, we were saying yesterday that was not looking very healthy, and I wish I had just taken my own advice and shorted it. So
yeah,
we're seeing increasing volume here. We're seeing these bearish divergences that I pointed out, and
I believe that shelf was the one that I was talking about yesterday. That I
yeah,
believe
you're saying this is the first place
test.
that's likely to help.
Yeah,
and I would imagine we'll probably get a retest of this area right here. That would be normal per se.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see a retest of this area down here. I mean, we did retest it several times here, but I don't know. I don't want to get too bearish. I think
Mm-hmm. I still think we need a few days.
Free money out there in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. I think people are still bullish. The market didn't crash. The market has retraced. The market has pulled back. I think that while I don't know how many days we're going to be hurting. I don't know how many weeks. It could be like 2 weeks where we're down here. Maybe it's just this week, and then we go right back into a bullish trend.
Bull mode.
I'm not sure here, guys, but I do think that this is a buying opportunity on most of the alts. This is really weak looking here on
Privacy coins.
privacy coins. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do think this represents buying opportunities. Even
They all do have elements of the same structure, but it's just impossible to tell whether any of them are going to hold at that level, or we're going to get a complete sell-off of most of the market.
this bearish divergence really worked out here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it really seemed like we were going to get a bounce off of this point of control too. Yeah, I would say just don't go short, guys. This is not a good time to be shorting. The market as a whole.
Mm-hmm. The day to be short was the 12.7 to the 11.7 to 12K range. That was the moment to be looking for a short. But that's really hard to do when you're in a bull market, and that's not something that we try to do here that often either, because when we're in a bull market, it's just way better to avoid the red button.
A few coins today that are succeeding. LRC is one. I just want to note that we entered LRC this weekend, so this is one of our positions that is doing very well. ERD was doing well yesterday. Let's see how this is faring today. Honestly, I think this hit all 3 take profits, but I'll need to double check. Either way,
it had to have. It went up 34%, I believe.
Yeah, so I think this hit all our take profits yesterday,
So
which is just as well because we retraced all of that.
Would have stopped at a break even anyways.
Yep. Let's run through some of the low sat coins here.
Actually, before you do, let me just quickly scroll through the comments and shout outs to a few of the people that were here. I haven't really reached out to the live chat yet, so let me do that real quick right now. David Rice was in here early. Mr. Unicorn says hello. My name is 5107 says hello. Mr. Ether, of course, is always in here. S180XT, another regular. Dan said hello this morning. Challenged Investor was here. Greg was in here saying shopping days, so he sees this as a buying opportunity. Andrew says that Justin's been talking about 10.6 for weeks. I know that's probably been invalidated, though. Yeah, I think Justin definitely had a bearish position, and there was maybe a few doubters out there, but clearly he has been vindicated.
Well, here's the thing. It's a timing issue, because that's the whole thing about like being an analyst and stuff like that. People are like, oh, well, you were fighting me on this, because then like the whole thing about it is because everyone was fighting me when I was saying that this was going to hold, and then we went all the way back up to 12K. It's just about knowing the time of the flip, which is so hard to do. So, I mean, invalidating my position going to 10.6, I do believe so. But with what Justin was saying, that's where he was looking for the next run down, which we have no idea. So at this moment, yes, he would have been vindicated, but that position would now be picked up and we'd be waiting. So we still don't know if he's right or not, whether that's the turnaround point. But if you look at support, resistance, everything, I mean, what's happening right now is leading me to believe that there's definitely a more probable chance of further downside.
Yeah,
to me at least.
In the end, Justin did seemingly.
That was one of the
range
range she was looking at for sure.
He did go short, or at least hedge, and now we know why Justin is the man that he is. Seemingly a bit of an oracle.
Elusive.
Yeah. All right. Let me just run through the last few. Let me run through the last few comments in here. I saw some good ones. Zach Coma says SPOI hitting the skids too. S180XT 9600 is his prediction where we're gonna land. Andrew says ETH spent so much time above this level, seems like a good place to test for support. Stefan Hyatt says hi. Let me see here. Zach says he's in the short. His TP2 is 9600. Victor Fryer says hello. Hello, Victor. Agency is in here. Let's see here. Almost at the end of the comments. Johnny Jones says 9.7K is a gap filling. Yeah, I do think we have a gap, a CME
Mhm.
gap below us, and filling
Been
it would
talking
have.
about that for a
Even
while.
their mother is waiting for the CME
Mhm.
gap to be
That's one of the
filled.
reasons why I don't
almost
think we'll
feel
fill
it's
that.
gonna get front run.
Yeah, because everyone and their dad's waiting on that gap fill for sure.
Cisco Kid says as long as the Dixie's going up, BTC will go down. So he's very much invested in this inverse correlation with the Dixie and Bitcoin. I can see why. Andrew, Tesla looks a lot like Ethereum now that it's split. S18XT says check out the Nasdaq 100 chart. I'll have to take a look. Mr. Ether says I'll buy Tesla at 150. Rocket Mortgage is worth 10x what it's priced at. So Mr. Ether very bullish among the Tesla. He is an Elon believer. Almost at the end. I saw a good one here. Here we go. Danielle Blanchard's in the chat, and she says, so for those of us who can't afford to lose money, should I sell some of this off in the short term when I see it dipping and then get back in when it seems to bottom out? I'm new and I don't understand crypto. Alex, you're coming in a little low, so maybe you come a little closer to the mic.
Well,
I
first,
said, she said, should I sell this? What is this, Danielle?
yeah,
You said,
I think she
more
means
specific.
Bitcoin.
I'm assuming Bitcoin, and I think there's an important distinction that we need to point out here, especially if you are new to Bitcoin. And because what you said there is, what should I do for someone who can't lose money? First of all, you need to be deciding what the difference for you is between your capital that you're investing and capital that you're trading. You need to figure out what you're doing in general first.
You should never
Whether
trade with money you can't afford to lose.
Yes, never trade with
That's
money
like
you
the
can't
number one
lose.
rule.
If you are, it really depends on your situation here. If you're just looking to get rich quick, I suggest you don't do anything that you're doing right now because you're just going to end up losing money. The first thing I would suggest doing is learn a little bit more about what you're doing. If it's money that you actually can lose, figure out how you're willing to put that into the market, whether you're looking to trade it, invest. I mean, for someone that doesn't really know anything about the space, I would say begin learning and also just DCAing maybe once a week or once a month. I
Yeah.
guarantee over the course of a couple of
Here's the thing.
months, you're going to be
If
up on
you
that.
want to not lose money, don't trade, okay?
Yeah.
Be like an actual investor. What you do is you dollar cost average, you just keep buying all throughout the bull market. When the bull market's over, when everyone's like, uh-oh, party's over, then you sell your Bitcoin. The rest of the time, don't do anything, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because 95% of traders lose money. And most of the people watching the show will tell you that really, most of the time you shouldn't be trading. There's some trades that come on the
Mm-hmm.
table, they're super obvious. You take them, you long Bitcoin here or there or something like that. And they're obvious, but most of the time it's not obvious what you should do. And probably, especially if you're new, doing anything
Trading is
fancy
not
is a
easy.
great way to lose your money.
Yeah, if anyone tells you it's easy or they have the best strategy or 100% hit rate, anything like that, that person doesn't know what they're doing. Part of trading and investing is knowing when to be in, knowing when to be out, and also having a plan before you're doing anything. So I would
Presumably
suggest just
they're watching us to figure out when to get in and
yeah,
when to get out. But what I'm telling you is that, like, even if you had those answers, you're going to screw it up because you're new. I could give you a 100% successful strategy and you would still screw it up because you're new. So the best advice that we could give you is to, like, no, don't sell this area. Because, like, in a year and a half, 2 years, Bitcoin's going to be worth way more than this.
Oh yeah.
What you do is you buy the dip, and you
wait.
if you can't afford to lose any money, don't sell the Bitcoin on a loss.
Pick up knitting.
Yeah, pick up knitting. Pick up something to distract yourself from the markets. Don't stare at the charts. Yeah, that's my advice. Unless you are working on becoming a professional trader, which many in our audience are, and kudos to you. Obviously, I like that idea too. But unless you're, like, planning to do that, like, chances are you're not going to understand the markets well enough to make informed decisions, and then you will lose that money.
And you're probably going to end up stressing yourself out, and then at that point you're going to be new, so you have no control over your emotions, because the first thing everyone thinks to do when they lose a bunch of money, double up on the next one because I got to make that all back right now. Chasing trades will kill you every time.
Yeah.
And people who don't have experience don't understand that, and unfortunately most people that become professional traders have to learn that themselves. But that's why we're here, I believe, is to mitigate those losses, because there's a lot of people here who have made them, and it's up to you to believe the advice that we're giving, because trust me, we don't want you to lose money, and it's very easy to do it.
Yeah, I'll give my 2 cents of advice to this individual, particularly if you're a new trader. You might get rocked by small, maybe not small, so small, but you're gonna get rocked by these movements in Bitcoin's price.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're already feeling like you're going to get shaken out, unfortunately, what's likely going to happen to you is you're going to sell here and price is going to climb from here. And at which point you're
Mm-hmm.
going to panic because you're new to the space and you're thinking, oh my God, why did I just sell here? It's
Going to
going back
zero.
up. Well, it might be going back up, right? And so
Oh, yep, yep.
this individual might FOMO back in at a higher price. So don't necessarily do that out of panic because you'll likely end up making one mistake followed by a second mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I can
unless there's
I-
like some indication that this market's going to completely plummet from here, your best bet might be just to stick it out. Wait in this position. This is $10,000 Bitcoin. We may not be seeing a massive decline here. We might kind of bounce in and around the 10K level for a little while. So realistic, I guess what I'm trying to say is just be patient, have strong hands. You're likely not going to get cleaned out just because we have a little bit of a dip below 10K. Don't chase, but yeah, go on, Jason.
Well, and I was also going to add, one can only hope that hopefully at this point you're just interested in Bitcoin and you're coming in and trying to put some in, but you're also worried about that money because you're looking at it lose value as Bitcoin goes down. And one thing I would say that if you are an investor, treat it as an investment. Don't think about it day to day, which I know is hard, but look at it more in the sense of where is this going to be in 2 years? I mean, historically, I'm about 98% sure that Bitcoin's going to be at a higher price in 2 to 5 years. I mean, I don't feel like that's an outlandish thing to say, but I can only hope that you're not getting into this and getting involved with any kind of leveraged exchange at the beginning, because that will end up wiping you.
Potentially.
Okay, I think
They
we've given Danielle enough advice.
Yeah,
Yep.
they did mention in another comment a little later saying, but you guys mentioned taking something out last week and putting it in reserve. If we did give any kind of advice to hedge or to sell a little bit, that probably would have been last
Danielle, the
week.
advice is not for you. You clearly don't know what you're doing. Please don't follow any advice about buying or selling uh, until you've got a good firm
Absolutely.
idea about the markets. Follow this advice that we gave you right now about dollar cost averaging and not touching it. Everything that we said, that you think we said last week, don't listen to it. It's for much more active traders who know what they're doing, and you don't. And you
Yeah,
just said
and
you don't. You're great, and it's totally cool. I didn't know what I was doing. I don't mean this to be insulting, but I do mean this to be very firm. Forget what we said. Listen to this advice right now. Do not touch it. Okay? Okay, Danielle?
Yeah, and they make one more comment here saying they've been in and out of positions, and they got into Bitcoin around 96 to 11K. Honestly, sounds like you averaged in perfectly fine for a newcomer. You averaged in between 9 and 11. Your position's probably averaging out to a 10. You're probably fine. Don't panic. Stay in it. Don't overtrade. But that's our
If you see better prices, think, oh great, Bitcoin is on
yeah,
sale. Let me pick some up
yeah.
today.
Consider
Okay?
just buying
That's
a
my
little more.
advice to you.
Yeah. Hang in
Let's
those
move on.
positions. Buy a
yeah,
little more. Let's not go too.
yeah, as long as you don't have any
Let's move on.
risk of liquidation, you should be fine.
Let's
Yeah,
move on.
as David Rice says, don't. This isn't necessarily accurate financial advice. Consider this entertainment. Don't take anything too close to
Exactly.
heart right now.
I
Um, but
Please
all
don't
right,
can only
compare me to Richard Heart.
let's move. Okay, Alex, any chance we could turn you up a little more? You're still coming a little, and I have your volume jacked to the max. People are asking to turn you up a little more. Bring the mic in a little closer. Open your Discord. Increase your input sensitivity. All right,
Is this better?
absolutely. In
That's way
fact,
better.
I have to turn you
Okay.
down a touch. I have to turn you down a little bit. Okay, here we go. Perfect.
Take that, audience.
There we go. Yep. Hope you're
Careful what you asked for.
Blew a few speakers.
a few speakers just there, and I am lowering his volume now, guys. Stand by. All right. Last few comments, and I'll put you guys back on track for the analysis. Let's see here. If we retrace to 11.2, would it be a good spot to hedge up in your position, in your opinion? What do you guys think if we see a big wick up to
Nah,
11? No?
no. Look. Your chance to hedge up was right after we crossed the baseline, way up there. If you didn't do it, then I would just hold on right now. Chances are 11.2 is just not a great place to be either hedged or short from or anything. It's just, just chill out, guys. What did we just say? Just buy the dips right now. The market is not like teetering on the edge of oblivion. I would just, it's like 2 down days, guys. We've been up for 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Payam is asking about where we see the CME gap. Okay, we will probably have to pull up a CME chart a little later and take a look at where the gaps actually are. I'm a little curious myself.
I can
We will look at it, but
for sure. Wuk Chewy says DeFi farmers going to unload in October when BTC soars past 14K. Indeed, I do feel like there's going to be a moment of reckoning for this entire alt space when BTC eventually does get unleashed and decides to really break out. I feel like the alts and will suffer a little bit, but I guess we'll find out. Let's just get through the last couple comments and I get you guys back on track. Several people recommending that Danielle just holds on to it for now. Blue Box Bear Territory says buy and hold your Bitcoin. Also learn by paper trading. Spin B says the next fake out is the CME gap. I believe whatever we go down, their BTC will keep going lower. Too many people waiting for it, so I say we test 7,200 area, but first plenty of other games. All right, I see what he's saying. He's saying that because everybody's waiting to buy strong in on the gap, we're going to get faked out and get dip even lower, and then people are going to panic sell.
I don't know. That's like if there's
possibility.
not a lot of buying pressure. But we've seen a lot of buying pressure. I feel like if people went in strong at the CME gap, I see it more being front run than I do it seeing and that suddenly even stronger sellers are going to step in when they haven't really yet. I mean, this is a decent sized sell off, but I mean, it's no
March.
We've seen bigger candles. We saw bigger candles in March, guys. I just somehow sellers would have to be so strong as to have to overcome the buyers coming in strongly at the CME gap. And that just doesn't make sense to me. Do you know what I mean?
Totally. I'm not sure if we go that low either at this point.
And I also do feel like
because according to this guy's theory, if this guy's theory is buyers are going to step in super hard in this area. Well, okay, if that happened, then sellers would have to step in even harder at this area. Why are sellers going to sell super hard at 9K when they don't want to sell super hard at 12 and 11K? Because they didn't sell super hard here. Yeah, we rejected, but this is like...
Yeah, the CME gap
has got... This isn't a slapdown.
The CME gap has got the live chat up in arms. I see a lot of CME gap comments in here, including
9665,
including
9925.
There's one here. Wuk Chewy says the gap will serve as a short squeeze. Andrew says 9960 is low as I see as going before continuation. And Pam reminds us that institutions are looking to get in on this. They could be the buyers in this range.
Not every gap.
I definitely think some institutions will be buyers in this range.
Not every gap fill has ever been filled, people. So don't think it's a 100% thing. So if you keep that on the front of your mind and use it as your trading device, I promise you're going to get burned.
All right. So here is one last comment, although Peckham will probably get back to this later. Peckham says, and this one's to Alex, he says he's got $500 and which 2 coins? He's ready to roll. All right, so you give him, he's going to need, and then in all caps, he says, Alex, which 2 coins? Please, no joke, $500. All right, man, so he's asking for the $500 moonshot special.
Go back in time, do TRX the day before yesterday.
There you go. All right. Well, we might pick that up later as a little bit of a gag because I'm not sure if we really play these type of moonshot gains. We don't really speculate to such a degree, but maybe we'll entertain this line of thinking a little later. But in the meantime, let's get back to the main analysis. Kicking it back to you, Alex.
Yeah. But no, I hear what he's saying. If this is a buying opportunity on the markets, Where do we buy? When do we buy? What do we buy? I think those are important questions to be asking now, not to necessarily be making purchases today. I would definitely wait a few more days, guys, and see how the market shakes out. Like, it's either the buying opportunity is going to last a few days and then things are going to slowly drift up and take off, or things are probably going to go to hell. I just don't see us like immediately bouncing here and then suddenly everything is all bullish again.
No, I think
People
I
were
think it
very
needs a little
bullish
bit
for
of
a
time.
while.
I said I think it needs a little bit more time here. Yeah.
Yeah, so it needs
Just
a little bit more time.
sort itself
So
out.
let's look around first. Here, let's look over the major alts. Obviously, if you're not in Tron, it's too late.
A little
It's
bit.
way too late. Yeah. It's a very nice pitchfork I did a little while back. It's beautiful, guys. Anyway, take a look at ADA. This is
Ada's been
not a
such
bad
a
spot.
Ada's been such a laggard lately.
Yeah. Well, ADA was one of the first ones to take off.
And look how bad privacy coins are doing right now.
Yeah.
Tron.
So it didn't even get hurt in the March 13th sell-off. This is what happened to ADA on March 13th. Nothing. That should have been a sign to buy in, really. Like, ADA's the only asset in the world that wasn't hurt by the March sell-off.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. You know what? I think it's interesting. I think probably most of the pain is on the USD pairs, but XRP is not necessarily bad in this spot.
You mean Cardano? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm now on XRP. We've moved on from ADA. So yeah, I mean, ADA's okay in this spot, but we might even go down to here. So I wanna see it a few more days. If we got another reaction off this bottom, then maybe. Yeah, totally went below the consolidation area that I thought was gonna be right to pick it up in.
Did anyone figure out what that super secret announcement was from Justin Sun?
Yeah, Justin Sun started a new token, and that token's name, Sun Token. Yes.
Of course.
One moment. Let me elucidate all of you guys. Hold on. I have where's news? I want news. Tron announces partnership with Band and Sun Genesis Mining. Justin Sun creates DeFi meme coin, names it after himself. Here we go. This is perfect. Launching a token in his own name. DeFi meme token. Cash tag Sun.
This is going to be a big joke. Give it another 6 to 12 months.
Oh, of course it's a big joke. I mean, Tron was originally a big joke, and we all know Justin's a big joke. But he is a master marketer. And whoever he hired to make his markets is a freaking genius. Because tell me, I certainly feel FOMO looking at this.
I respect him.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's good at what he does. So,
yeah,
as much as I do like to laugh at him because he's a complete scam artist, I mean, he's a very successful scam artist who has a lot more money than I do. So Sun will function much like liquidity mining coins. It's going to be kind of like Sushi and Yam and Tennies and stuff like that. So it's going to be airdropped to TRX holders. And that's why people are buying up the TRX. They can get themselves a taste of that sweet, sweet Sun token. Got to get that Sun token. So that's what's going on with Tron, fundamentally, versus all the other tokens. I don't dislike this spot, but I imagine we'll probably get a retest down here. I would look to buy. I would look to buy near there if possible. Now, ostensibly, this area is where we're supposed to be picking up EOS on dips. As you can see, we keep wicking down here into this. But it looks like we're going to break below the point of control. So if we can trade down in this area, this is where you should be looking up to pick EOS Bitcoin for a longer term hold. It's supposed to be log. And what does that look like on the weekly? Let's move out here. So, yes, getting some nice little bounces in here, some nice little accumulation going.
It's quite the buyback already on EOS. I didn't realize.
Yeah. Now, I'm a little surprised here on Litecoin that we still have not broken out of this initial trading range, but it's kind of languishing like all the major alts are right now. So alt season still has not visited the major alts. These are unloved children on Christmas. These are, I don't know, it's the redheaded stepchildren of crypto. It's very sad. This may be the place to finally take profit on EOS, because this was originally if you guys remember from long, long ago, this was my original take profit area.
You mean Ethereum?
For the Ethereum long, yeah.
Okay.
And I did ended up dumping it here, and then took the USD long for the group. But maybe Ethereum does need to rest a little bit. I did want to see this area retested, which we never really did. I think most likely we'll probably break down here and then trade sideways more in this area. I don't think we'll revisit down here. It feels like we kind of jumped that gap already. BCH looks ugly as sin.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a contrarian, I would pick up this spot. But I don't know, man. You're pretty brave if you're picking up some BCH here. This support has held for quite a while. That's why I like this spot. Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks ugly.
And you know what? When you look at this weekly like this movement up into this resistance, it does look like we're going to need a stronger pullback on Ethereum. Maybe all the way down to 325, 319.
Yeah, the top of that other resistance there, maybe. And if that's the case, I mean, that would, if we get that out of Ethereum, I think we'll get similar out of Bitcoin.
Very strong resistance here. I think it's going to depend on how we close this weekly. If we close this weekly like this, then definitely. But I mean, we still got like 3 or 4 days. We could come back up here and kind of counterfeit this wick, where it looks like a wick right now, but by the end of the week, it's just a normal upward candle. And it's like a wick down into support and then we're rising. So okay, so major alts, they're just not there yet, guys. They're not even, maybe EOS, maybe BCH is bottom picks, but they're hardly appetizing. Let's do a quick run through of some of the lower cap markets, which is what the market still seems to be most interested in. And then I want to switch over to Forex and equities to end the day. For right now, while I go through some of the stuff, do you want to look through the chat a little bit, see if there's anything for us to pull up? Or do we have any news we want to cover?
No, not necessarily on the news front, but there's a couple of comments in here I wanted to quickly touch on. Several people bagging on Justin Sun, but they bring up a good point, which is, let me take a look here, like such as this one. Basically, Justin Sun is the belief is that people like a strong marketing offensive, and that's what Justin Sun is good at. So
yeah, he's an expert marketer. Guys, scam coins pump the hardest. Justin Sun's coins are gonna pump big time, no question. But are they scams? Yeah, they're total scams.
Yeah, Aaron Webb says, I trust in a good marketing scam or not. He trusts in a good marketer, scam or not. Haha, then dump it, he says. Indeed. Zach says something similar. I made ridiculous amount of money on TRX the last bull market. Of course, the trick is to sell at the right time. Philip Carr says he calls out Justin Sun all the time. Peckham says, Alex, check your DMs on Discord.
I like
several people
never bring a show,
probably
so.
making a mockery of the CME gap thesis, saying, "Well, guys, there is a CME gap around the 3K range. What about that one?" Yeah, Scrooge McDuck, you got me there. This CME gap thing might not even be a real phenomenon, but
No, it is a real phenomenon, but it's not one. It's not 100%.
Well, I actually question if it's a real phenomenon. On the one hand, I do see that CME gaps almost always do get filled, but then again, price almost always wanders through every level several times. I think I think it's something where it's like beside the points of the gaps. You know, price just it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes through the level again and again and again and again, and then it breaks out into a new trading range, and it's in that area, it goes again and again and again, and then it's back into the previous trading range, etc. So I don't think it's necessarily surprising that we see all the CME gaps filled, even though they're like, you know, by what mechanism do people suggest that, you know, price wants to fill the CME gaps? You know, I still have not heard a fundamental explanation for market behavior or why it must happen. It seems to me more like it's just a natural behavior, like price always wanders through every price level multiple times. Oh well, that's all I've got to say on that. Just some thoughts. I don't know one way or the other.
It could get filled, it could not. So
Price
All
could
right.
go up or down, guys.
There you go. There you have it. Yeah, Aaron Webb says ETH didn't break its trading range either, and EOS looks like it's going to explode when it breaks that wedge. Yep, several people concurring. This looks good for EOS. Well, I hope so, boys, because I got a bag of EOS. I wouldn't mind offloading at some point in the future. So I have Pam does chime in on the CME gaps. He says CME gaps are basically the theory that price reverts to the point of control. It's not like looking at the delta between future and current price.
I hear you, but like not all these CME gaps are based around a local point of control. So I do agree with you that price loves to touch point of controls and it's always going to go back and touch them. But these CME gaps aren't necessarily located at points of control.
Indeed. All right. One thing I will touch on is if anybody's following the Wild West, that is the DeFi Uniswap space right now. I think there was several projects yesterday that had the rug pulled on them, which is to say that
pizza and hot dog.
the developers made
Put
off.
that up.
The devs made off with the money. One of them being, of course, if anybody was following this one, was the Ozone Protocol. Ozone Protocol went bust. Well, Hot Dog did too, apparently. But Ozone, they just pulled the money out and sent it through the mixers. So, yeah, goes to show you, be careful out there, guys. We're in like a serious like boom and mania phase when the scams are coming out left and right as well. As if we already had a high baseline of scams in the space. Well, now they're just basically hitting a fever pitch. But yeah, Alex, tell us a little bit about what you're seeing on the chart.
Is OCP Ozone?
OZP.
I think so.
I'll look it up on Etherscan.
You might have to look it up.
OZP.
Might have to look it up. I didn't follow it closely enough to.
OZP is Ozone Pay. OZP. Yep.
I'm not sure if that's the same thing as Ozone
Looks like the
Protocol.
market is just like down. Let's open up the swamp. Let's see what's happening here. If it even wants to. It's dead.
Chart
Killed
X.
the unicorn, guys.
Yeah. Wow. Well, glad I pulled some money out of it yesterday when I had the opportunity. Oh, that's.
See, I heard Curry Coin also.
Oh yeah, I heard about Curry yesterday as well. Did this one get the rug pulled? Maybe not.
But this must not be the actual Curry Coin. This must be some other coin. But I heard Curry got pulled, hot dog and pizza.
Hot dog and pizza are definitely gone.
I feel like a complete ass just even saying these on air. But I mean that's what's going on, guys. It's
does make me
meme
feel
food coin
silly.
season.
I need to make a video about choosing the right snack. My yams, pizza, hot dog.
If pizza did get rug pulled, it recovered today. It's looking good all of a sudden. Oh wait, no, it unrug pulled. What's happening?
Tell me pizza's back off.
Okay, so it's briefly worth $600, and now it is worth 16 cents. This is a log. Okay, this is log. There we go. This is linear.
Oof.
That looks a lot like hot dogs.
Does look a lot like hot dog.
Hot dog.
Now, Pi has still... Did this rug pull?
Looks like it.
Not too sure about Pi. I'd have to look into that.
And basically, if you buy a food coin, you're probably getting what you deserve.
You're gonna get pie in
Pork
your
chop.
face.
Oof. Finally
Oh,
broke
it-
down from that. That's not great. What other food coin can I think of outside my head? Taco.
Sushi, I think, is actually doing well.
Yeah, sushi and Wi-Fi are doing very strong.
Yeah. Pull this back on a log here. You know, if you picked it up down here, that's pretty fucking smart. Or at
Yeah.
least it's smart in retrospect. You know, my worries here about picking up sushi, even though sushi is very popular right now, is just that... Is this still not open? Come on, guys. It's just that people are basically printing sushi right now on through the liquidity token farming on this. So
This is a yield farming token, isn't it?
yeah, this is a yield farming token, and you essentially you get out sushi by
Pooling it.
my understanding. You
I read a little
deposit
bit about this.
liquidity onto Uniswap, and then you get Uniswap liquidity point tokens, and then you take the Uniswap liquidity point tokens and stake them on SushiSwap, at which point it mints sushi tokens that you can then sell for more money on Uniswap, and then you, I guess, farm yield for that elsewhere. Look, guys, I'm still shaky on the yield farming. I'm sorry, but that's like, I think the people in the audience can, that's sort of how it works. Yeah.
I did a little bit of research on it, and that was basically the gist of locking it up, and then it basically gives you a percentage of what's locked up after a certain block.
New age money printing, boys.
Yeah, new age money.
Sushi?
Okay, well, we've got the Uniswap open. Let's just take a look at an overview of what's going on here. So, looks like no more liquidity has been added the past couple of days. Seems like whatever people wanted to add over the weekend has been added, and people are just gonna, whoever was gonna FOMO in has already FOMO'd in. We've got roughly the same amount of 24-hour volume, still kind of hanging around 1 billion, but slowly falling. Anything new? Nope, still YFI, Fland, synthetics. Wi-Fi is not doing too bad. Yesterday, I believe I told you guys to pick it up around 28,000. Doing a little better today, around 32,000. Feeling pretty good about that. All right, so let's look at the broader markets. Let's take a look at Forex right now. So this morning, the USD was pretty strong.
I'm surprised that USD hasn't put in a lot stronger candles today. I mean, it very well could still, but I'm surprised.
So I believe yesterday I mentioned that the US dollar Swissy was looking a little stronger than some of the other coins. So far, it was strong this morning, has been weak this afternoon. USD JPY kind of trading sideways still. USD Canadian up, and interestingly, looks like we may have formed. We may be getting a reversal in this area. This is pretty good looking. a nice little point of control here. We kind of tapped. This is not a bad spot, perhaps, to be picking up a USD CAD reversal. You might want to wait for a little bit more confirmation. I mean, first of all, like, let's actually move back into the wedge and get a break out of that before we stake out a full position. A very interesting bearish divergence forming here on Kiwi Jpy. So the Kiwi has been pretty strong for the majority of the year since March. So we all know what happened. And we've kind of tapped this level a few times, and this may be our third rejection from it. So this is interesting here. So let's take a good look at that, and then this looks real bad. It's like a retest of this point of control up here. I'd be interested to see if we can get a move back down to retest this area, but it's not as clear to me as the Kiwi Jpy is in this situation. I really wish I had access to Justin's market breadth indicator. That'd be a little bit more helpful right here. But to me, it feels like the markets are kind of in turmoil today. The trends have changed direction that they were going in just last week. Getting more bearish divergences all over the place here on the Euro JPY. I really don't expect this to get much over this level. Let's move out here. Yeah, this is a strong resistance level right here. It just looks like we just didn't breach it, guys. And we're putting in these these lower highs on our oscillator, which is not a good sign. Euro's finding strength against the Kiwi and the British pound, but not so much against the Swiss franc. And we're seeing a really strong consolidation in this area. I mean, look at this.
Yeah,
This
very
is just
little
kind of
white.
like around this area. Yeah,
Very little white
very
noise in there.
Yeah, very strong consolidation. I kind of imagine that we're going to move back down from here. Like this is a sell off. Someone is selling. They're
Unloading bags.
someone's selling their euros up here, and then expect that to take back down to here. This point of control. Let's draw that out, so we can have that for the future. We wanna keep track of what it is. So we're thinking so. This is a strong attractor. This spot is also a strong attractor, but I've got to pick a spot where it's going to go to. So we'll see what happens there. Euro Canadian. I want to watch this trend line right here. Let's take this off a log.
I'd almost say the same thing for that, to where I think that that's not going to break that trend line until it hits that point of control below near that red line.
It could be. Maybe this doesn't end up being a wedge. Maybe what actually happens here is we just like fall down and like bump, and then break like that. Entirely plausible. This is a very strong signal here. It's not a bad spot to be doing purchasing.
Yeah, historically for sure. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's definitely the accumulation zone.
Let's see where our baselines are. And these, like, how far away are we from the baseline on these trades? And we're going to use a whole 60 here. I'm still not switched over to
Donchian.
To just his Donchian V2. So starting to look weak here. I probably want to take that short. Unsure how I feel about this spot right here. I think overall, like, since we're near a high, it'd probably be better to be short than long in this spot. But we're over the baseline, This is just trading sideways. I wouldn't want to trade this either way. kind of the same story here. I mean, this has been mostly sideways since May right here, and this is a nice little movement up. Do we consider this still just more sideways, or this is like a break in trend? What would that look like? Fine, be that way. Something like that. So we get a retest of this and then continuation. That's probably the only way I would trade this to the long side, is if we got a retest and then it started to move like that. It'd be very suggestive and tempting in that case. But mostly the Aussie is looking weak this week. I mentioned that yesterday. I don't know if it's because those snakes fell out of that guy's roof. Who knows? But
2 100-pounders.
Yeah, it could be anything, guys. It's it's international news, and the way the news interacts with each other, it's basically chaos theory. I'm over here doing chaos theory stuff with you guys. Okay, it's like, so we know that the butterfly is beating its wings in China. So the storm is gonna show up in Australia. That's what's going on here. So, yeah, it's we're doing a lot of tea leaf reading, but I'm gonna do the best I can for you guys.
He's kidding.
Let's open up our CFDs. So I had this Palladium long is looking better and better. I had wanted to call this on Sunday, but we didn't end up doing it. I don't think it's too late. We're still underneath the baseline here. Let's take a look at this. What this Palladium long looks like on the weekly. It's kind of beautiful.
That's a good formation. Higher high too.
Yep. A few weeks back, I had wanted us to retest this area, and we kind of just never made it back down in that area. Just never did. Formed a nice little pennant right there. I've got this breakout, most of which we've retraced today. So this line right here, it's like, this is the rarefied air of the trading range high. This was the trading range we had back in 2010, 2013, when silver was trading near its all-time high. And so this area right here is a big ass low volume node that lies between those two areas where price doesn't really like to trade. Price is not like that area. You can see no one does much transacting inside of this area. People don't set orders. People don't do market sells. It's basically the market is like, well, if
it's 20 or 30.
If silver is worth $24, then silver is worth $26. Yeah. I don't see $25 silver. It's just like it's either worth less or it's worth more, but it's not worth exactly $25. For whatever reason, that's what the market has decided. It's not what I'm saying. So we got back on top of this area. As you can see, we plunged above it, burst below it, and kind of trading above it. It really looks here like we're going to break down, and we can, see, look at this very strong bearish divergence we see forming right here. I would, actually, that's not a bearish divergence, this is a normal divergence. Never mind. That is actually just exactly how it's supposed to look. Nonetheless, we're below the baseline. This is a nice little baseline bounce on the short side. I fully expect us to take it down in this area. And, if we traded back down to retest the $20 range, that would be, I think it'd be healthy. We can still do that. And then, by 2022, have started making new highs in silver. We got to look at these things, as long-term entities, because, we could trade sideways for 3 years, guys, 4 years. It would not be unheard of. So I don't want to be like, oh, we're going straight down and we're going straight up. We could go sideways for months here and then move down. But for right now, I'm more bearish than I'm bullish on silver, which is good. Give us a better price to pick it up at. Looks like same story here with gold. It really like a nice little breakout of this triangle. Right now we're retesting it, but if we close below 1900 at all, I want to be out of my. If you got any paper gold longs, I want to be out of those. Very weak looking right there. All right, and then platinum, shitty as always. Has been shitty the entire time. Continues to be shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Aren't you glad you didn't long it? Yeah. Zalzag finally recovering. It's got very, very oversold there. Well, depending on how you look at it. Nice little weekly signal right there. I think it's beautiful. Now, there's not very many places where you can trade the Zalzag, but if you're deciding how much of your portfolio you've got in gold versus silver, now might be the time to switch around your portfolio a little bit and reallocate. This is Tracy before. Might want to reallocate your portfolio. Soybeans continue taking off. Wheat pulling back a little bit. Sideways. All of these markets, just look at that. Sideways. 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 These markets have done nothing since June. Sideways. Mostly sideways. I guess it's like up a little bit more in the markets, but basically sideways. I mean, come on. Like, if you bought here, are you like really feeling like, maybe you go out for a steak dinner here and that's about it. But you're definitely not over the moon like, lots of crypto traders are these since they were since, June. God, can you imagine being a German stock market trader instead of a crypto trader right now? Ugh. Hong Kong, sideways, so much sideways. That's not that bad. India's been faring well, but I'm kind of broke out of the bottom of this trend. That might be, might not be long for this world. Yeah, we're getting our first strong exit signal right after a touch of this area. I'd probably at least want to take it down to here. There's still a lot of volume in this area that I might want to fill too. This is a pretty strong looking sell signal, especially because we broke out of the bottom of this wedge. Yeah, retest the baseline here. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Same story here on the German. If you look like this, touch to the point of control, touch to the point of control, back down. Ugh. This actually looks much more ugly now that I look at it on the weekly like this. What do you guys think? Dun, dun, dun.
I actually kind of
Time
like
to put
that
a
setup.
short on the Germany 30, if you ask me. What else we got? Not great looking. Probably, gosh, France 40 has been so sideways. Even the short barely has the RR for it. I mean, like, I guess we could short this, but the stop would be up here. It's just not worth it. Yeah, I'm still looking for a fill in this area.
Yeah, I still like that area. Same with that one.
Oof.
Same with that one.
Breakdown. Back to this area. Yeah, guys. All the major markets of the world, they look like they're going to have a few down weeks. West Texas oil not looking so hot here. Okay, so what is this telling us right now? We're seeing a flight to the Dixie. We're seeing a flight to the U.S. dollars. We're seeing the Australian markets looking weak. We're seeing the Chinese markets looking strong here. I like this. This is basically a new all-time high area for the Chinese markets right here. We got to pull back today. European markets pull back. French markets pull back. German markets pull back. Hong Kong markets pull back. Indian markets probably a pullback. I don't know. It could be a rough couple of weeks. Maybe we're gonna get some bad international news. Maybe
I'm worried about it.
there's going to be maybe we're going to find out that the vaccine trials, they're just, sorry guys, it's going to be another year until we can,
Another lockdown.
society can go quote unquote back to normal. I don't know, but right now I got to say all of these markets, they're looking rather weak. What do you think?
Sorry, you cut out there for a second. What'd you say?
I said I think all the markets looking rather weak right now. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we definitely are seeing profit taking all around. I mean,
Yeah.
which it's hard to say right now whether this is the beginning of a trend flip or whether this is people just taking profit.
Yeah.
It does appear across the board, though, that we're going to get some reversals, a lot of topping behavior.
That is not pretty. But this could be just, some resistance at resistance. And then, we like dun dun dun, boom. That happened. But I mean, if there was one area of the market that you were like, okay, this is probably where I want to go short, this is not a bad spot, right?
No, I think the risk to rewards there put a stop above the last all-time high.
So that's interesting. So DDM did not even make it as high as the actual Dow Jones, which basically brushed its all-time high and then immediately collapsed this week. What does that look like? Yeah. Brushed, collapse. And this looks strong. I would actually, this looks like a strong short. I would actually probably want to take it down to this area.
I'm not sure blockchain, but I know I'll be watching the Simpsons to see what's coming in the future here.
Who even knows with QQQ, guys?
They
The
always seem to get it right.
NASDAQ has been just so out of control. I have no idea where we want to pull back to. This was a consolidation area here. If it pulled back to anywhere and it was here, I wouldn't be surprised. But man, sellers are really stepping in too. Look at that. Look at that sell volume. Last time we had sell volume that was strong was in June. What happened in June? I don't know. Yeah, but it was also a retest of the previous all-time high. So it was like a strong retest and then moved downwards. We'll check out SPY too. It's the SPY all-time high previously.
As yesterday.
Yeah. With a breakout like this, I feel like we'll get a retest and then a continuation. It's the Dow that has me concerned because it's not making it over that high. Well, let's take a look at some of the other ETFs here, see what the market's telling us. Interesting. Small cap ETF here is looking kind of strong. Is this also small caps? Small cap 600. Interesting. Mid caps not good. Mid cap bull not good. Ultra Pro. I don't know what Ultra Pro means, but I'll assume. No, this is these are leverage shares. Okay. Ultra market cap not good. Small market cap. This small market cap not doing great. This small cap not doing good. Okay, so what is it about this small cap ETF and this small cap ETF that they're doing strong today when everything else is weak? Maybe that'll give us an idea of what the market's like. Maybe now's the time where the market is turned off by Apple and Tesla and Amazon and all the drivers of this big tech bubble that we're in right now. Maybe that's going to cool off and people are going to look towards the small caps that have been largely ignored since March, and where there's a lot of especially in small caps, as we all know from from small cap cryptos. I mean, if you really want gains, get in the bottom of the small cap, ride that up. If you can manage it.
The
I
Punjab
don't think
Public
this
Service
is-
Commission. I don't
This is
think
not
that's
what
the
we're
one.
looking for.
Punjab.
It seeks 135% of the daily performance of the S&P Small Cap 600. And there's no guarantee they'll meet that investment objective, but that is their objective. So, something to think about. Daily holdings. So, basically, it holds cap index swap and then a bunch of financial services. This is what they hold. This is really, I was kind of expecting like a more complicated instrument. This is kind of like disappointing.
Well, I mean, that's kind of everything.
Okay. Well then, good luck, direction. I guess maybe let's look at S&P small cap. Just small cap 600. No, that doesn't look great. That actually looks poised for deeper losses back down to here. No, I guess maybe it's just a fluke of whatever they're holding, because I don't see anything in particular that stands out to me there. Interestingly, the market seems to think that we're about to be in for some real downtimes because we're getting a signal on the VIX, and this week is making good on it. So, as for those of you who may not be aware, generally in the markets, volatility increases when price goes down and decreases when price goes up. And the reason is because prices kind of stair step up, elevator down, like they say. It's like, it marches up slowly, just like, and then when it goes down, it's just like thud into the ground. You lost all your money. Boom, elevator down. So that's just general market dynamics. But that's why when the market is decreasing in value, you see a large spike in VIX. Yep. So the market as a whole is beginning to price in increased volatility. So yeah, I think we should expect probably a couple of down weeks on both traditionals and maybe in crypto, because crypto is being treated as a risk-on asset. And I think that it would behoove everyone to just think, okay, well, prices moved so much since March. Got to give back a little bit of those gains. And we'll in the meantime, we'll watch the markets and try and find some good places to get back in for the bull run round 2, when the Federal Reserve realizes they need to print money before the election, because if the economy collapses before the election, that's going to look real bad for the current administration. So those are my thoughts, I think, currently on the broader markets as a whole. Does anybody have any questions while we're on these topics?
Yeah, let's take a look. We haven't checked in with the chat in a while. Let's see who's still hanging in there with us. Still 90 plus viewers in here. Okay, cool. I guess they like to zone out to Alex's soft voice. All right. Let me scroll up
everybody
a
left.
bit. No, they're all in here for sure. No, we got probably record numbers for a CC Crew episode of Breaking Bitcoin. Scrolling up, a lot of off-topic discussion here. Talk about different exchanges. All right, guys. Here's the deal. If we're gonna run into the request section. So if you asked for a chart request, I'm having difficulty finding it. There's a lot of scrolling. So if you got a request, put it in the live chat right now, and we'll get the analysts to take a look, see what kind of setups we may or may not have on our hands. BC Hemster says Tron is up 43% in the last few hours. Yep, we touched on Tron earlier in the
Yeah,
episode.
it's
Okay,
about
I got a
52 on the day.
I've got a request here. Crypto Caveman says swipe SPX USD, please. Is SPX swipe?
It's XXP.
SXP. Okay. I was wondering what he meant by SPX, if that was the S&P. All right. So let's take a look at swipe, please. USD pair.
It's not there yet. It's just another coin that let's tell you what. Let's get a better chart than this for Swipe, because Swipe actually has a little bit more history. Let's open CoinTrader.pro. CoinTrader.pro is a place that lets you kind of chart just data. So if there's a market cap that's available, you can chart on the market cap. If there's a Bitcoin pairing, if there's an ETH pairing, if there's a calculated by TradingView dollar amount, you can just trade any data. So, I mean, it's a nice feature. It's just they're not full featured and they can't do Uniswap. So it's not. It's like a nice middle between ChartX and TradingView, but it's not something that I use normally unless I have no other place. Gosh, what did I just say I was going to look at? I'm totally zoning.
I think it was swipe SXP.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Or no, I guess XXP, is that synthetics? No. Am I doing this wrong? Here we go. So we'll do market cap. So it'll be roughly equivalent to the USD value. You know, we are coming to a place that I think is going to be a buying opportunity. I do like this spot right in this area. Yeah, I think you could totally start buying this spot. Maybe we even break down into this area. But this is a nice retest of a previous all-time high. So this is very strong resistance right here. We broke above it. We come back down. We retest it for continuation. I do like rebuying Swipe in this area. If you're dumping it in this area, I wouldn't dump in this area. You've held on too long, buddy. You're in it. So let's see if there's any firm trend lines here, something that we can. What does that look like? You could kind of draw this as a broadening descending wedge. That might make sense. In which case, land in this area, dip right down here. It's a good question, but I do like this area to buy in for Swipe. This is just natural behavior. Of course, we're going to want to retest this area where we just came from. Okay, next thing, what do we want to look at?
All right. I see Zach Coma mentioned the Bithumb raid by the police yesterday in Korea. I know there was a bit of speculation across the space that this might be pointing to some kind of regulatory or authorities cracking down on the Bitcoin or cryptocurrency space, and this potentially.
If you read the news, like Bithumb was being kind of fast and loose with the way they were operating, and the authorities stepped in like they're supposed to.
Sounds like you're stepping
I don't
up.
I don't think of it. I think it's actually a good thing for the space. If Bithumb is not a good actor, I want to know about it. I want everybody to be able to get their balances off. Because imagine if BitThumb like exit scammed or something. Man, if you think today's news was bad or whatever, then just imagine
Entire exchange.
if a big exchange like Mount Gox.
All right, Alex, come back to us though. Don't leave. Don't leave.
Sounds like you have a nice open floor plan in there.
Yeah.
Come
Can
back.
you not hear me?
Now you're back.
Hear it.
Now you're
Yeah.
back. You wandered over to grab a sandwich, and you're back. All right. Yeah, I don't know how much the BitHum raid.
BitThumb?
BitHum.
Don't you say BitThumb?
I call it BitHum. I mean,
Okay, well,
I don't
you're
really
probably more right.
maybe. I don't know. Honestly, this is one of those exchanges I haven't really referred to much in the past, even though it's an OG.
Jack's like, I'm not Korean. I don't go to BitThumb.
Straight up. Straight up. Let's see here. Wakachui says he's waiting for a $3,000 green candle in BTC this autumn. So I think he's referring to, the 2017 bull run where we went from 14K to 17K in one day. He thinks it's going to come in November. Honestly, that would be wonderful. A little early Christmas for all of
sign
us.
me up.
From
your mouth to God's ears, buddy. Sign me up.
Give me the 3K candle, just for God's sake. Make sure I'm like 10x long at least on that day. Here we go. Let me keep scrolling here. I'm sure we're gonna have a few requests as I get to the bottom of the live chat here. All right, so here we go. I got one here for Unibright, please. Let's do Unibright in there. That's coming from Dan, asking for Unibright, please.
All right, let's open up ChartX, get this done. It looks like Unibright is just kind of suffering from a dearth of news. Like, I honestly like a lot of coins that are in Uniswap. It came out to much fanfare, and now they're kind of in for the long haul. I don't know how I feel about Unibright in this spot. I mean, I would much rather buy it here than up here or up here. We're kind of at the bottom of the trading range right now. I think I would want to read a little bit more about Unibright's roadmap before I decide to buy into the spot. Because if Unibright doesn't have any fundamental news coming up for like another month, then it's probably going to continue to languish in this area. But if it does, then this is a great buying opportunity. We haven't spent much time below this area previously. So, buying down here, buying anywhere down in this area, smart. We do see volume coming in here. As buyers step in, we don't see commensurate selling volume. Like, people have sold, but there's still a lot of people holding. And if we go and we can look at the holder list and see just how many people are kind of like hanging on. It's right there. Wow, that's actually a lot of holders for Unibright. It's 15,000 addresses. I mean, I'm stuck in some shit coins right now. I wish I had 15,000 holders. Okay, let's open up Bloxy, see if we can find out any interesting information about this. So you guys can see a little bit about how the sausage is made. This is the contract address that I'm putting in here at Bloxy. So UBT exists at this contract address on the Ethereum blockchain. If you go to that address on the Ethereum blockchain, it's basically a list of all the transactions that have to do with this token function. See, Unibright token. These are all pending transactions. Here we go. This kind of tells us where.
Is that a picture of its DNA?
No, this tells us where all the tokens are. Who's holding them? How they got there?
Justin Sun.
So we see all this UBT is sitting over Bittrex on their exchange wallet. This is the Hotbit exchange wallet. It's the Hotbit exchange wallet. You can see all these purchases. Interesting. I mean, it's interesting, but so far I haven't seen any like, aha, this information tells me X thing. So far, I'm just, sometimes things stand out to you, sometimes they don't. You gonna fill in there, buddy? Interesting. Has UBT been around this long? Let me open this up.
2018.
No, it couldn't be, could it?
That's what it said there. I don't remember it being that old, but
Oh my goodness. Look at all of this data that we did not know about. Well, I think this changes everything. Yeah, man, this is distribution. I'd get the hell out of Unibright right here. This is totally distribution. I would imagine we're probably going to end up back down in this area or even down in this area right here. It was a nice run for Unibright. I would totally get the heck out of Dodge. And yeah, don't buy this spot. Sorry if I even sounded like buying this spot was a good idea, because now that we can see all this other data, we're actually like rather high. So it was a nice run for Unibright. Let it settle down, and then we'll see what happens. Part 2. Next.
All right, next request. We got quite a few of these, so let's do this rapid fire. I see Durkon9 asking for Ample USDT. Can it be a good entry now? Can we get into Ample now? Tell us, Alex.
Ample. Ooh, this is a nice little retest. This area. You know what? Yes, this is a good re-entry. My only problem with Ample is, again, the problem with these rebase tokens is that you enter it, and if you don't make a profit within a couple, every single day it is rebasing tokens out of your wallet. So these rebase tokens, rather than like a stable coin where it's like price is pegged, to get the token to, because the price is pegged to a reserve, to get the token on a rebase token to become an exact value, it basically creates and destroys from the supply. So if there's like too much of the token, it'll destroy down the supply, and until the token is worth X value. If there's too little of the token, then it'll create more of the supply until it equals X value. And I don't know about you, but I have a really hard time calculating my profits when the token went up in value, but now I have less of the token, and I'm like, I mean, I think I made a profit on it. It's just rebase tokens really confuse me, and they confuse my trading strategies. Like, it's strange that someone could like buy here, sell here, and lose money on that, but depending on how things were rebased, it could have happened. I don't know. Yes. As far as like, is this a good spot? Yeah, it's a spot.
Well, there you go.
let's take a look at Polkadot.
Yeah, let's look at Dot. Let's go into Dot.
I had a mentorship with a member who was in the Dot pre-sale.
He did
What
well.
a lucky
Must
stiff, huh?
must have done well for himself in that case.
Yeah. Must be nice. Let's see what we got here. There's got to be more data. Give me more data. That's less data. That's not helpful. Thanks for nothing. This can't be right. Did Polkadot just become worthless or something? Did I miss something?
I don't think so.
Didn't they do a stock split? I thought they did a stock split.
They did do a stock split.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, well, guys, because
Ooh.
TradingView and Coin Paprika and stuff are not used to dealing with stock splits on coins, the data is currently like destroyed. We can't look that much further back. Did they do like 100 to 1 or something
Looks
like
a
that?
lot like pizza and hot dog.
It does look like pizza and hot dog. Gosh. I'm sorry, guys. There's not a whole lot of data to work with here. I guess let's go down to the hourly and see what we can see. That's not really freaking helpful either. Probably not. I'd probably wait for a pullback on this like everything else. I mean, it is up like 6x this month. So, well, it's like 3x this month. So, I would not buy this spot like the rest of crypto. I would be interested in buying a lower spot. That's how I feel. And there's just no other data to work with either. You know, right now it's like this is the top. I know the top is actually like 100 times higher, but for now this is the top, and this is where we're buying. So I don't like it.
All right, that it for Dot. On to the next one.
You know, there's nothing more to say. I have no data to work with because Dot destroyed it with their stock split, and I guess because it is 3x since then, this is probably a high spot. But that's the only thing I have to measure it against. So yeah, sure, it's probably too high. It'll probably go down in price, or
Still,
maybe it'll 100x from here because people are weird.
it's still a fairly new coin, and it seems like a pretty robust new entry in the smart contract space. So I'm kind of bullish on Dot. I personally, of course, this is just completely a discretionary type move, so it's not really based on anything on the charts. But seemingly with Ethereum's high fees and congestion, this is a good time to strike for competitors to try and one up Ethereum. It seems like Dot has got a strong Ethereum counter narrative, right? So, kind of like Cardano, just potentially. It seems like a lot of people in the space have like mixed opinions on Cardano. Cardano's like a love it or hate it type project. Um, while Dot is kind of fresh and new and hasn't really had time to spoil anybody's opinions of it yet. So I guess what I'm saying is if you're not heavy into the Cardano as the knockout punch for Ethereum, maybe Polkadot is what you're looking for if you're bearish on Ethereum long term. You know, this is it does
Yeah,
have proof of
I think that sounds
stake and sharding out of the box, right? So it has kind of everything Ethereum 2.0 is trying to accomplish early. So but I guess it's going to be hard to upset the reigning champ Ethereum and its massive first mover advantage. So I guess what I'm saying is it's still early. Maybe this is a good time to buy and accumulate and hold for the long term. In terms of short to medium term trades, I don't know. Hard to say. Not much data on the chart, as Alex says. All right, on to the next one. On to the next one. Here we go. I see one from Torrent. Torrent says, "How about Atom USDT?" Can we look at Atom, please? Atom. Up and Atom.
Probably a good spot to buy. I imagine we'll retest up here and probably break down one more time. Ultimately, I think you're going to want to do your buying in this spot right here. Yeah, it seems like the market point of control. Market seems really attracted to that. Yeah, I imagine it'll kind of like hang around, retest up, and then crash down in this area. This is where I'd want to buy, right around $4, $3.50. Just not there yet on Adam. Plus, like I said, the markets as a whole, I think they're going to want to crawl down for at least a week or two. Only got a couple days here.
Well, there you have it. All right, here's the next one. Orchid. Can we take a look at Orchid, please?
I looked at Orchid yesterday, and I told you guys that it had a long way down to go. Nope, we're not looking at it today. It's still got a long ways to go.
All right, passing on Orchid. Next,
Yep.
could we look at This is coming from S180XT. He's asking for Pax BTC. Can we look at Paxos BTC, please?
I just got an alert that bottom feeder just started signaling on the daily on Bitcoin. That's interesting.
Oh, that is interesting.
That is very interesting. Bottom feeder is a, I don't want to say
for Bitcoin. Well,
yeah.
right now it's 87% hit rate, 87.5, but that doesn't not necessarily mean it's going to be a good signal, but it's very interesting.
Bye.
Pax is very interesting looking here. If we close the day like this, then I would consider that a valid signal. Definitely. We're above the baseline. We got a nice bullish divergence on TT. We're breaking resistance. I think it's worth taking. We set a stop right down here. See what happens. It looks something like this. Yeah, just take it right to this spot right there. And then you'd probably want to set a trailing stop for whatever else you can capture. Next.
All right, let's see. Let me just get a little time check here. All right, we've been live for almost 2 hours, so we're going to hit the tail end of the show, finish up with a few more requests. And so therefore, live chat, get those requests in. And if you've been watching this long, for God's sake, hit the like button, click the damn like button, grab your girlfriend's phone, log into YouTube and click like
Use
with that
all
one too.
3 of your YouTube accounts.
Okay. I saw Dot today on Binance. This is my best. I'm not being late. RD. Okay. Or Adri. I got you. Wook Chewy says, maybe you're right and I missed the boat. Not sure which one he's referring to. Let me see if I find. Let's see here. Zach Coma, pro tip. TradingView changed the rectangle for drawing tools, so you have to make it go all the way right or left by double clicking on it. Okay. What you asking for Cosmos? Could we look at Cosmos?
Cosmos isn't
that the same thing as Atom?
Isn't that already Atom?
I think that is Atom. Never mind then. My mistake. Let's see here. Kind of drawing up on the requests here. Let me. Oh, banned. We got a request for banned from No Delis.
We got Band, Ant, and RLC.
Thank you very much.
Baseline bounce rejection.
Yep.
I'd want to take it lower, probably down to here.
Bands don't make me dance.
Yeah, it looks like a swing failure pattern. I'd probably take it down to like this area right here. See that little bulge on the VPVR. Yep, so you can see here, bearish divergence right there. Rejection from resistance. Baseline bounce to downside. Many, many, many classic bearish signals. I would not pick it up here. I'd try and pick it up down here. Next.
Hey, Jason, I think you had, RLC on there?
RLC, yep.
RLC it is.
And then the last one I see here would be Link. Oh, that does not
I
look
like
good.
picking it up in this spot down here.
Definitely a shelf. That
Mhm.
looks like a hard rejection out of there. That would definitely be the next logical point.
Yeah, now I wish it wasn't like a 40% drop into this spot because I did long in this spot, but this is still not a bad spot to be picking up in, I think. You know, because right here is resistance, support up here. So I feel confident in this spot for a pickup spot.
And then Link.
I mean, Link and Band are basically the same thing, guys. You should know better. You should know better. Baseline bounce rejection, buy it down here, just like Band. It looks exactly the same. Let's go to Band. Oh my god, it looks exactly the same. That's right. Everybody's treating the assets as if they're the same. They're both Oracle coins. They're going to treat the same. I bet TRB doesn't look that different either. Here, I'll pull it up on here.
Oh yeah, we did have Ant as well. When you get done with Link.
Not exactly the same as the other two, but I mean, roughly the same. Yeah, I mean, guys, the charts are basically the same. So yeah, Band, TRB, Link, all the Oracle coins, they're pulling back. I guess it's not a bad spot to be buying it. But I still think we need more pullback on Band and Link, and I bet we'll see that more of a pullback. It's like here too on TRB. Next, it's only supposed to look at Band, but yeah,
Ant.
sorry, Ant.
USDT. Yep.
Yeah, it looks like shit.
And then there's not enough data there. Oh, well, there's more than I thought.
Yeah,
That
man.
doesn't look very good though.
Well, I mean, we do have descending volume on the dumps. That's a good sign right here. I don't know. I wouldn't buy the spot, man. Maybe it'll keep going further, but just not enough data. And we got trend line breaks, and yeah, it's just. I think you should just say no for now. Wait till you get a bullish sign first.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
I think
We're all good?
I think that's it.
I think that wraps it up. Let me just quickly check. Chewy says my band tokens are free now, so I'll just keep them for a while. So I guess that means he had
Not a bad way to trade, my friend.
I guess that means he doesn't want to sell here. Gotcha. I don't blame you.
Sounds like he already
You
took
guys
profit.
don't have to dump these things. You can just hold on. There's going to be another pump eventually.
C and MT, the user by the name CNMT says he cashed out almost everything when his band bags took off. Then he took the profits and bought all kinds of tokens. He's wrecked now. So you spoiled a good thing, my man. You got to learn how to, when you cash into profits, my man, you got to cash into USD or Bitcoin or something a little more valuable.
Buy low, sell high.
Yeah. Except when you take your
That's
profits.
a lesson that people learn every alt season. You know, if you take your alt profits and then immediately roll them into other alts, eventually they're going to do the thing where they all go down 50%, and then you lose all your profits.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep some of it as USD.
Very common.
Yeah, it's a lesson I've learned myself. other alt seasons. It's definitely
It's one of the
in
reasons why I found
2017
this
that
place.
happened to a lot of people, where they made money all throughout the alt season, and then
Mhm.
and there's like one final altcoin that they bought, and then that went down 90%, and they lost all the money.
That was one of the reasons why I found this channel myself. Was I was sick of that happening to me, to where I'd have a bunch of great trades, and then I'd let a few of them ride, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin would make a move, and it would just wipe all my profits. So I hear you out there. Risk management is very important.
Yeah, taking profit, that doesn't basically mean profit into other very speculative alts is a
Mhm.
good idea. Profit is USD or Bitcoin, guys, not necessarily other speculative
Dogecoin.
plays, right? Just because you pulled a 10x with your first coin and you spread it out to 10 more coins doesn't mean each one of them is going to do a 10x. After that, you may end up holding a very, very lousy bag. Let's see here. Joe says, have you guys talked about Tron yet? What's up with Tron? Yep,
Yes,
Joe,
we
we
did.
talked
We talked
Tron.
about it 3 times.
Yep, we talked Tron much earlier. As to
He
what's
announced his own coin, a meme DeFi coin called Sun.
indeed. Then I think he developed. Then he, I think earlier this week or last week, he launched or they announced Justin Swap or Just Swap. I think like a Uniswap competitor.
Huh.
On Tron, so it's like this DeFi craze is going gangbusters
Yeah,
when
once someone starts naming shit out of themselves, you just want to bitch slap them in the face.
Yeah,
Guys,
like
this guy, he's lucky he's a good marketer, because,
who else do we know like that?
yeah, I know, exactly.
Maybe
all right,
Trump.
all right, guys, we're pretty much at the 2 hour mark. I think we've kind of covered it all today. A little bit of something for everybody. Thank you so much to everyone who hung in there. I'm just quickly scrolling through the chat to see if I missed anything. I might have, guys, so my apologies if I didn't get to your comment or to your request. But I think today's the day to wrap it up. Now's the moment to wrap it up. So, any final words to our analysts? You guys want to mention anything before we dip?
I think the
TFT
thing
is
is,
one of my banks. Looks pretty good here.
yeah, well, especially considering Bitcoin right now, don't rush to get yourself in any positions. I think
Yeah,
shorting this
agreed.
level would be silly. Even if it does continue down, I don't care. Like, this is a prime spot for people to get wrecked. So be patient with this. See where we end the day. I do think it's interesting that there is a bottom feeder signal that's signaling today. So at close, I will be paying attention to that. But all of the people in the group, of course, you guys will know on that for sure. But yeah, it's an interesting. The whole market's in an interesting spot right now. I don't think it's completely made up its mind that we're gonna flip to bearish here, but we're right on that precipice here, so anything could happen.
Yeah, bottom feeder is a good spot to potentially take signals to dollar
It's
cost
designed
averaging
to
at
catch
least.
bottoms. Yeah,
It is. I know it's meant to kind of catch bottoms and complete trades, but if you're the type of person that dollar cost averages into Bitcoin once a month and you're wondering, okay, what time of month is a good spot to do my DCA into Bitcoin? Well, what bottom feeder fires, it's not a bad idea usually
it's not terrible.
to coincide with your purchase of Bitcoin. So just a little tip there for anybody wondering whether to buy in or not. I think, for instance, we had that one live chatter who said, Danielle, I think it was. Yeah, you know what? My advice to her and maybe other people like that: don't panic, don't sell. If anything, buy the dip. And
You
if bottom feeder is concurring, well, I guess we'll find out by the candle close. Um, yeah, maybe consider rather than panic selling, in fact, just buying a little more. Buy the dip. This could be a good opportunity. But I guess a lot of eyes are going to be on the 9K CME gap or just the 9K range in general. So I'll see if that plays out. But guess we'll know soon enough. All right. As Wook Chewy says, it's just a bullish pullback, bro. Don't panic. Yep. Aaron Webb says bottom feeder is wrong half the time.
That's not true at all. It's 87.5 on Bitcoin, bud.
Yep. Bottom feeder is pretty solid, right? It might not.
Bottom feeder's awesome on the daily, yeah.
Yep.
It's designed around Bitcoin on the daily. The only better data you get out of bottom feeder is Matic USDT.
Some people sold the top last week. Yes, they did. Iggy Jiggy, they did. And lucky dogs, they did. But
it will happen again.
Holy crap. Alex, are you watching DFT right now? I just saw it spike up to new highs.
I literally have it on the screen.
Oh, you literally have it on the screen? Whoa. According to my Uniswap window right now, it's way, way up. Ooh, I almost regret selling last night a little bit of my bag, but no harm in taking profits. Very cool. Very, very cool. All right, time to get back to business, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for today's Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Again, sorry that Justin hasn't been around. Justin hasn't been around this week. I'm sure we will get him back in the hot seat as soon as we can. In the meantime, trade safe, everybody. That's it. We're signing off. Going to the end screen. Ciao.
Have a great day, everyone. Trade safely.